Welcome to what is the start of the auto barn project. This is approximately a 1,000 square foot barn or greenhouse that I have on the property, and I'm going to transform this into a car shop, car storage. Going to have lots of built-in cabinets. This building has water and electricity already, so one of my first projects, well, one of the first projects anyway, is going to be building some barn doors for the entry. That'll be a separate video. But what I need to do first is take out this built-in countertop that is right there, because back in this corner is going to be a bathroom. Going to have a 2x4 studded wall and a door, but I also need to remove that because the barn doors are going to come over a little bit. There we have water for a sink. So my first project is to go ahead and remove this countertop, which is screwed in and lag bolted into the frame, and needless to say, there's a ton of spider webs underneath, so I'm gonna clean that off first. I'll get started. All right, first barn project is done. Got that countertop all removed. That thing was overbuilt, overly engineered, lag bolted in everywhere. The blade on my Sawzall doll, of course, can't find the new blades. So that one I had to basically just twist it off and beat it off. No problem anyway, because this door for this whole thing is coming out, and the door is moving over to right about there where you can see that line. So that'll give me about exactly 4x8, 8 foot tall, I'm sorry, 8x8 foot opening. So like I said, little bathroom's going in this corner right here because the plumbing is right there. It's just gonna have a urinal and maybe a sink. I've got several old doors, and 2x4s, so I'll build something in that corner there. I'll probably leave this sink here, definitely, because the plumbing is here. Either this sink or maybe another sink. But the lighting is all getting upgraded because basically there is no lighting in here. There's only that and a couple of floodlights over here. That's why this video is so dark. But I ordered a bunch of LED fixtures off of Amazon, and they come tomorrow, so they'll be installed up on the ridge right there. As far as this loft goes, I'm undecided whether I want to actually keep this or not. It's pretty flimsy, maybe good for some part storage up there, but one thing for sure I know is that I'm gonna keep a desk area right here because there's an outlet, and anyway, this will all be painted. Tons of extra room. The back here is gonna get French doors, and I'll replace those windows. Probably what I'm gonna do is when I remove those doors right there and the frame, because I already have them and they're perfectly good, I'm going to install those in the back wall. But then I do have my eyes open for a couple of French door panels, and that's a pretty common size, so I should be able to find those. And lots of extra plans. I'm going to close in all this screening area right there. I don't really need it. I'm going to power wash the whole outside. That's moss growing up there on the roof. But overall, this is about 1,000 square feet, so it's really a nice big shop. Plenty of light, amazing sunset that goes down that back way as facing west. And there's actually a little porch out there. I don't know why, there's this little set of stairs that goes up from the side, but it's pretty much useless. So I'll put those French doors in and it'll open up. The sunset is amazing. I will try to insert a picture of the sunset taken right from the back of this barn. So as you can see, it is definitely worth putting in some French doors. Anyway, got a lot of cleaning to do, a lot of other stuff to happen, but I'm excited about this. It's gonna be a good project. So first and foremost, that's out of the way. I can build my doors, and then I can install my lighting. And we'll go from there. Well, in this segment, we're gonna install some LED lighting up on the top ridge. There is a metal pole that runs the length of this. It's pretty skinny, but I ended up purchasing 8 LED lights from Amazon, and they were just delivered. I was actually waiting for a rather large box or several boxes. Instead, this is what I got. One tiny little tube of lights. There are 8 lights in here, and I know these are small, and I wanted them to be this size because, you know, it just seemed like a better fit for that small little metal rail that's up there. Anyway, these can be wired in series of 6, and there are 8 lights. And I did that on purpose because I'm going to put 6 lights along the top, and then another at least 1 or 2 lights under here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this little loft area yet, but for right now I will have a couple extra lights. And I can always buy another set if I find that 8 total lights isn't going to be enough for here, and I have a feeling they probably won't be. I mean, these were cheap. These were very cheap. I'll put the link in the description. And these did get some good reviews. So anyway, I'm gonna open it up. I think I'm gonna start in the center and work my way out. As far as wiring these at this point, they're all gonna be wired. I'm gonna bring down 1 cord. I'm probably gonna put some sort of outlet right here because this is switched. This one over here is also switched, but at this point I'm probably just gonna run them on an extension cord until I figure out what I'm gonna do. Like I said, because I am gonna put a bathroom in this corner, and there's an outlet there, which is not a good location. But there's the main switch for this light, so this would probably be most convenient. Just kind of walk in and flip the switch. Right now there's currently that old nasty fixture right there, but that can easily be swapped out. So I'm gonna open this up and get going. I don't have a whole lot of time and a whole lot of daylight left today, but we'll see if I can get at least a couple up. Okay, a bit of a change of plans. I'm not gonna be able to use the mounting clips that these things came with because, and you can't really tell from the ground, but there's all these, this hardware sticking down right from the center, so these need to be hung down just a little bit, and I can achieve that with zip ties. I'm gonna neaten these up. I mean, it's not my first choice, but it really isn't another option. So everything will be all tightened up and neat, and I definitely need to power wash this roof. It's covered in moss and dirt, but that's another day. So I'm gonna get all these lined up, tighten them up, cut off the excess, make everything nice and neat, and hopefully that should suffice. I wish I could make them nice and snug, but as you can see, there's just, like right there, there's just all this hardware protruding down. So if I don't want to put them on the side, I want to put them directly underneath. So that's the best option. Well, all 6 of these are up, and I'm pretty underwhelmed. They're actually brighter than maybe showing on the camera right here, but they're definitely not bright enough. I think these lights would be good for, you know, task lighting, like maybe under here or something, but I think I'm gonna have to end up getting several, you know, more expensive, nicer, you know, triple or double row LEDs. But for right now, these will do. I mean, it's better than nothing because this had pretty much no light in it at all, but I guess these will do for now, and I still have 2 more. Unfortunately, you can only string 6 of them in a row, because the other 2 would have been perfect, you know, 1 for here and 1 down there. But, oh well. I think what I'll probably end up doing is getting, you know, maybe 4 larger lights. In fact, that's what I'll probably end up doing, is just ordering 4 and kind of mixing them and matching them. I don't know, I'll figure something out, but for right now, this is definitely better than not having any light. So I guess I'll do a shot when it is dark out, because the sun is still out. Stay tuned. All right, here we are at night. And actually, I'm pleasantly surprised about the light output. I thought it was gonna be pretty awful, but I still have 2 more lights to put up, and that's only gonna increase the light output. But these are actually not bad. I mean, considering, and I knew there would be, you know, a pretty big dark spot here because of this loft, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up taking at least most of this plywood off. But I can see that this really has to be there. These are kind of collar ties tying the whole structure together, and then this brace is attached to this 2x4. So I don't know how much good it's doing, but I'm pretty sure I need to leave that there. But at the very least, I can probably cut back on some of the plywood. It's really not very useful. I mean, it's only like 1/4 inch. You can't walk on it, and really can't really store much up there. So, but anyway, this is coming along. I picked up some French doors, which I will show you in another video, to be installed there. And I'll end up replacing those windows because the French doors are going to be just a little bit taller. So I might make this section here into kind of a lounge area. It'll have the doors, and I probably won't do a TV out here. It's too far from the house to get reception. I've got wireless receivers, and plus I have one in the garage. I don't really use it, so I don't care. But I do have music. Music is much more important to me than watching TV. So yeah, actually, I'll install the other 2 lights, and that should really make a big difference. I mean, it's not like the surface of the sun light in here, but that's okay. I can always pick up another set of those, which I may end up doing, get a set of 6 or a set of 8, plus the 2 that I have. And this place will be quite bright. So anyway, that's it for this segment. All right, well, I think it's time to start building me some barn doors. So I picked up 2 sheets of this 4x8 T111. This was the look that I wanted to go for, more of a rustic barn door. And I picked up some cedar. What they actually are is fence pickets from Home Depot. They got the dog ears on the top, but they're going to be perfect. They're rough hewn, kind of like this, so they will match. And this is going to be painted. But basically, I'm going to build a box at the bottom and frame it, and then do kind of an X pattern at the bottom here. I'm going to leave this lip on because this will end up lining up with the groove that's on the other side. So when they close, they will, you know, close off and overlap a little bit. So I'm just kind of going off of some pictures that I saw online and kind of determine what I want to do. But I've got my other sheet over there. So these are going to be 8x8 when they're all installed, and I will have to take out this opening and make it much larger, which is no big deal because that structure is pretty flimsy anyway. This barn has kind of a metal superstructure, and then the 2x4s are just filling in, so they're not really providing much other than, you know, some lateral stability. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I got my cutoff saw here, and this should be actually fairly simple, so stay tuned. All right, I've got the outside frame all cut, and I'm gonna go ahead and adhesive it down, and then I've got some weatherproof construction screws I'm gonna put through the back side because I don't wanna see any screw heads. And once everything's all down and locked into place, I'll go ahead and build the X for the center. And then the outside of one door is done anyway. I am gonna have to go ahead and beef up the inside, probably with some 2x6s. I didn't buy any of those. I want to get these made first and then see what I have to do. I'll probably buy those at the same time I buy the material to make the larger opening. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. Well, the left side door is done. At least the outside is anyway. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. All the joints are nice and tight. It is glued down with construction adhesive and screwed from the bottom. However, I'm gonna turn it over and put some more screws in. It's just easier that way once it's upside down. Then, like I said, I'll have to build really kind of a frame for the inside, you know, for support, because this is still pretty flimsy. But this is, what you're seeing right here is just mostly for the exterior look. So, very happy with that. I don't think I'm gonna get to the other one today. Plus, I think I miscalculated and didn't buy enough of the cedar boards for the trim, but oh well. Home Depot's close enough, and I think those are only $2 or $3 a piece, so very happy with this result. All right, it's day 2 of working on the doors. As you can see, the left door is completely done. Very happy with the way that turned out. And I'm just finishing what will be the right door. Everything, the outer frame is all cut. I just need to glue it and secure it in place, and then I can build the X for the center. I like to do that after everything is locked into place and you know it's not gonna move. That's the best way to get these nice tight joints like you see right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a new tube of construction adhesive and then screw this all into place. Well, that didn't take too long at all. Both doors are now made, and I just need to reinforce the backs like I said before. I'm very happy with the way these turned out. I actually do like the variations in the different, you know, the different boards and everything. I think it gives it a nice texture and color difference. I think I might stain these rather than paint them. At least I can stain them, and if I don't like it, I can paint over that, but I can't stain it after I've painted it. So I do have a stain color that I've used on the shutters and the gate for the rest of the house. So I think that's what I'll do. It's a nice golden, reddish golden brown color. I really like it. Now I have to select some hardware, some handles and some hinges. Not exactly entirely sure how I'm going to attach it. Probably with some sort of piano hinge, a full 8-foot length on both sides. That way it'll be nice and sturdy. Either that or you know, three hinges each gate. These things are pretty heavy, so and once I add the structure on the back, they're going to be even heavier. So at least they're done. Very happy with these. Okay, here on a rainy Saturday, I've got the fiberglass for this front wall all removed. I got the doors out. The doors are actually built. I have my friend here helping me. So this frame is gonna come out. All the screws are out. And then I should be able to cut the rough opening for the larger door. Stay tuned. All right, a day and a half later, and the barn doors are mounted. Still have to shim them and put the rest of the hardware on and put the rest of the siding on, but overall I'm pretty happy with the way they look. And then I'm gonna stain them afterwards. Well, the siding's all put back on, and I'm getting ready to stain the doors. I want to get the doors stained because it's supposed to rain again in the next few days, and I'd like a little protection on them. But the siding went on, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Of course, everything will look better once I put some trim around the edge of the door and paint the whole thing. But for right now, just gonna get the door stained. Well, I've got part of one door done. This is kind of slow and tedious, but that's okay. Just need to take off this hardware so I can stain underneath it. But I'm pretty happy with the way it looks so far. This is the stain I'm using from Home Depot. And it's the same stain that I have on the shutters and the gate. So everything's gonna match. Bathroom time. Got the door hung. Got the sole plate in place. I'm just building the 2x4 walls that are gonna go up, and then there will be no header because it's not carrying any weight, just above the door, tying the whole top plate, tying the whole thing together. I got the door mounted right to the frame of the garage, and of course, it's pretty uneven, but I've got it evened out. So I'll have to put some trim. You see that space right there, but the door is nice and level and plumb. Door works great. Be plenty of room in there, put a little urinal in the corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting these 2x4s, get them in place. Well, that's gonna do it for tonight. It's going on 10 o'clock. I've got one wall raised. I've got a frame in, this little return right here, and then you know, put a top plate on everything to tie it all together. So I'll finish this up tomorrow. I'm happy with the progress. Well, the framing for the bathroom is mostly complete. I need to do a couple braces between those 2x4s. But for the most part, it's done. Got the door, got the latch installed. Not necessarily standardized construction, but I'm using what I have on hand. I'm not wasting anything. I've decided not to do any kind of fancy trim. I mean, I'm gonna put probably a veneer plywood over this and paint it. And I might do a trim on the outside of the door, but for the most part, I mean, there's no standardized frame. Doesn't really need it. Used an old striker that I had laying around. Everything works. Nice and smooth. Yeah, I probably will put like a doorstop on the outside, but for the most part, this is gonna be done. And I did order a hanging light fixture that will attach right about there and just kind of hang down. It is kind of a barn fixture that will match the one that's gonna go on the outside. That arrived in the mail today. Not sure when I'm gonna put that one up, but I will frost that window. And I'll do something lining the inside of this probably with another veneer plywood or a paneling or something. I have all this beadboard left over from the casita, but they're just real small pieces, and it would end up being a lot more work to try to cut and piece all this together rather than just buy a couple new pieces. So that's what I'll do. Happy with the progress so far. I installed the light for over the bathroom. It was an inexpensive retro looking fixture off of Amazon. I think it was 29 bucks. And it has an LED bulb installed. It's kind of an old-fashioned LED bulb, but it's great. Does the job perfectly. As you can see, lights up, still has an open ceiling here, so lots more light goes in there. I still need to do something with these back walls and the inside walls in here. Nothing really done in here yet, but at least the outside's done. Pretty much ready for paint. Installed some baseboards. Again, these are all just scraps that I had laying around. I did get this Luan plywood is new, and this corner molding is new. But the base bars are left over from the casita, so it didn't cost me anything. And this crown molding was left over from the remodel, original. It was torn out, but I saved it, so it works for me. It's come together nicely. All right, it's time to put some trim around the outside of the barn doors. So I actually had this trim laying around from a prior project, and I bought a nice long piece for the header, which is a little bit wider, which is what I wanted. So I decided to paint the trim black, and I already own this flat black exterior paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this. Now typically trim is usually semi-gloss, but I've decided when it comes to this black, I don't like the semi-gloss. It's just too shiny, but the flat seems to work. And I did pick up a gallon of paint for the body. I don't know when I'm gonna get to that because it's supposed to rain maybe later today and in the next couple days. So no rush on that, but I do wanna get the trim up. Exterior trim is installed. I'm happy with the way it looks. Now I'm gonna quickly give the front of this body a coat of paint in the color that I chose. Probably gonna need a few coats because it's going over fiberglass, but I got a better quality paint, so I wanna get at least just this front done, so stay tuned. All right, a little bit of a progress update. As you can see, I've got most of the first coat on. It's definitely gonna require a second coat, and I actually really like this color. I'll give you the color details a little bit later, but I'm gonna get going and get this finished, get a second coat on before it gets dark. All right, 2 coats done. I'll probably have to do some more touch-ups tomorrow because it looks like some light's coming through from the backside, but for the most part, it is pretty much done. Very happy with the way it looks. All right, work on the barn continues. As you can see, I've got the bathroom all painted, fresh coat of stain on the door, fresh coat of stain under the sink right there. Sorry, the lighting is not the best, but you can see, actually turned out really nice. Now I'm putting a coat of paint on these beams. This is all paint that I've had left over from other, either that came with the house or other projects, including this yellow, and this blue is from the casita. So not investing any more money when I already have gallons of paint laying around. But the general theme that I want to do in here is continuing kind of the sunset colors. Blue for sky, got some yellow, I'm gonna do some orange and some red, got some white. So I think it should all come together pretty nicely.